Hey there, I'm Eric Tennant, and on this video, I'm going to be making my e-bike wires not look, well, so e-bike-ish. I would prefer people not knowing what I'm riding. So, to fix this problem, on my e-bike, one of the wires, you can obviously see the red there that makes it stand out like a sore thumb. The bike is blackish blue, so what I did is I went out and I got some of this expandable wire sleeve cover here, and basically this just slips over the wire and then can be secured on by the heat shrink. Also, as I'm doing that, I'm going to change the end here. Right now these are on Anderson power pools, and I want to change it over to XT. Kind of just like that. So. Okay, now I just need to strip the wire back a bit to get the connector onto it. I believe it is 10 gauge, so I'm going to try that. Yep. Now this one is the 1/4 inch. It expands as you're pushing the wire, and they're built like Chinese finger cuffs. If you would put your two pinkies in there and then try to pull, it would hold it tight. So I need to measure this out to about the length, so I'm just going to use the cord as the guide for that. I'm going to use wire cutters to cut through this, try to get a clean cut on it. Okay, the instructions recommend burning the ends to keep it from getting unfrayed, so I'm going to try that real quick, and I'm going to do the other side as well. Alright, and to get it on further and further, you don't really want to pull it, it's not going to go anywhere. So what you do is you push it from the back, and it'll slowly cause like coils. And let's do another one. You just keep doing this and working the thing forward. And from my first attempt, I learned to make this stuff long to begin with. Alright, now that I got it to roughly the length here, I want to go ahead and cut off the excess. Okay, now that I got that cut, I'm going to go ahead and put heat shrink on, and this helps the ends of the tubing not to become unfrayed. And force it over the little end of the connector here. Alright, now that I got to pull it over there, I'm going to go ahead and just use my lighter. I got a heat gun, but lighter's just available. Alright, so now that's on there like that. I'm going to let it cool down for a second. Okay, and with these XG650s, this isn't going to keep the cord from pulling down, so it easily pulls down. So the next thing I found to do is take a little bit of super glue and kind of just smother one end of it on it. I guess I'll do both sides here. And now I'm going to just push the heat shrink right back up on it. And now once that dries, that'll give enough strength where if I'm pulling on the cord, the whole sheeting won't come off the thing. Alright, and once again, I had to cut a little excess off here, but go ahead and burn it a little bit. Otherwise, well, I already got a couple frayed ones where I've failed. So yeah, you definitely want to burn the end. Alright, this should be pretty good to keep it from getting unraveled. Now that I have that like that, I got to remember to put everything on to the system that I'm going to need. So one of the first things I'm going to definitely need is a heat shrink. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. And I'm just going to slide it pretty much all the way back to the other end and out of the way. Okay, now I need to, basically I'm going to push the sleeving back, kind of making it pregnant in that other area, but that's fine. There we go, now I got access to the wire. I'm going to go ahead and take off my electrical tape I used to feed it through. Because if you don't use electrical tape to feed it through, every single strand of wire will end up sticking out through the meshing. Yeah, that's no fun. Now I got the other end of the XT60 connector on here. These are a little weird. The batch I got, the holes weren't done all the way through. I actually took my drill and drilled them through, because otherwise we'd be sitting there forever trying to get these things soldered I need somewhere to place the wire into to get it soldered. So yeah, little drill fix that. To the rescue. But before I forget of one of the other things I need to do, I need to stick on one of the back caps to these onto the wires. And of course, anytime soldering these type of connectors, you want to put on the back side to it, or it's a possibility the pole is going to melt and change position on you. That's no fun. And then luckily it has a plus and minus already wrote on it, so hopefully I don't screw that up, huh? Okay, now that I got put that push down in there, now I just pretty much got to solder it into place real good, making sure I don't do a cold solder on it. Actually had to bust out my hobby soldering iron, the one I usually use to melt plastic. My other one didn't seem to be getting up to heat all the way, so really a shame. Oh, forgot some flux. Flux is always nice. Just kind of lets everything bake in real good. And I'm just gonna come in here and start heating everything up. Probably gonna lose a little bit of flux on the table there. And basically I'm heating the wire and the connector up quite a bit, probably to several hundred degrees. I don't know the exact temperature, but I know if I don't get these two parts nice and hot as you're doing this, you're gonna get pretty much what they call cold weld. And yeah, it'll be brittle and it'll break off eventually. So yeah, you gotta get everything nice and toasty. The other soldering iron, yeah, I couldn't melt solder whatsoever, and that actually looks like a pretty decent connection there. Let me check around it. Of course, the wire is gonna be hot as hell. I'm gonna do a little bit more buildup on this side. This 10 gauge wire, you really have to kind of heat up each side of it. It's real thick. The wire itself ends up, I think, connecting or conducting a lot of the heat away from you. Let's give it a good old tug. Oh yeah, ooh, that's toasty. That's definitely not a cold connection there. Okay, now I just need to flip over and do that to the negative wire. Let's go ahead and put some flux on that. I'm just gonna use the wire itself as my flux collector there. It works easiest. Switch out which wire I have clamped. I think I'm happy with that. All right, now I need to let her cool down. That is as hot as hell right at the moment. I don't want to pull that plastic cap up until it cools down. Okay, now I just need to push the plastic cap up onto it. Of course, they're always stubborn. So, get out the needle nose pliers. Bam. All right, that is a good connection. All right, just push the plastic sleeve now up. Nice. And now take the heat shrink over the back end of her. And of course it's time for the good old Bic lighter. Whew. Of course, gotta let that cool down from being cooked with the Bic now. And of course the last step now, I'm just gonna pull it back, exposing the plastic there. And it's also good that the sheathing is over it too. So all this will just get super glued together and hold it real tight. And just like that, I got me a much more stealthy cable that'll definitely hide that red cable much better, and it helps protect it. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.